In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I'm joined by Marvel Discovery's President and CEO, Karim Rayani, who has a ton of news. Karim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Stuart. Good to be on the show.
You know, I said you got a ton of news, so let's get right to it. First of all, let's talk about your fixed-wing magnetic survey over the KLR and Walker Uranium project, and then we'll get on to the news about your option to acquire also. Okay. Tell us about the results from the flyover.
So what we've done is we've done a airborne magnetic survey, 100-meter spacings, covering 1,200 kilometers west to east. That's roughly 10,000 hectares. This ties into a group of claims we had tied up originally 3 years back. The original claim holder was District 1 Exploration, a company I was involved in. We paid a share dividend out to those shareholders to acquire those claims. There's 70 kilometers west of the Key Lake mine operation held by Cameco in the Athabasca Basin in Saskatchewan. This is one of the most prolific operations in the world, the highest grade. That operation generated over 4 million pounds, grading 2.5–3%. And then what we did is once we acquired those claims, we went and tied up the surrounding land. So the southern block, which is the KLR and the Walker, is a bit more greenfields. The stuff to the north that we own is more advanced, and that's drill ready. So this covers off a large portion of our ground. We have a lot of data. There's been extensive work done on both the north and northwest corner. So we have a lot of data to go off. This is not a greenfield project. This is just the lower portion of our claims.
This is a unique time to be moving back into the uranium market, isn't it? We talk about how the economy may look a little uncertain on the future, but there's no doubt that the green economy is going to continue to grow strong, and uranium is going to play a very important part in that market.
Yeah, I think timing is everything. The renewed interest in uranium, clean energy. All countries around the world realize that this is the only solution at this time. A lot of governments, U.S., Canada, are looking at small modular reactor technologies as well. 4 provinces in Canada have already signed on to that mandate, and in the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to be building these and deploying them. So, yes, I mean, timing could not be better for looking at the uranium market.
Well, it also looks like the spot market for uranium is really picking up that excess supply that came out of the meltdown from Fukushima. And also Russia now being kind of handcuffed in its ability to trade its uranium. It really makes the discovery of these projects that much more important.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. has put sanctions, oil and gas, etc. The uranium market out of Russia has not been sanctioned. There's been talks about it. I guess we'll have to wait and see as to how that plays out. But no, I would say it's looking very positive.
So this is very exciting what you're working on in the Saskatchewan uranium market, but you also have projects in Newfoundland. Can you tell us more about those?
So Marvel is probably the top 5th. Number 6 landholder of claims in Newfoundland. What really separates Marvel from any of our competitors is we own 100%. I think maybe 1, 2, 3 projects have a small NSR. The way we do our property deals is we do 100%. It's all staking costs, no property payments. So what this allows us to do is to be able to acquire a property, get it to a stage where it's drill ready, and then decide if we're going to bring in a partner or if we're going to do it ourselves. We've pretty much tied off all major structures. We're tied on to Newfound gold, which I think most of your viewers know. It's one of the richest gold discoveries in the last 10, 15 years. There is a number of splays that are off their Keats, Queensway zone, and we've identified 3 high-grade targets. We're mobilizing crews there very shortly. we're at Hope Brook on the Benton Sokiman side, which is the southern portion of the island. Benton Sokiman just hit the first lithium discovery on the island. We're right next door, same type of geological system. We're doing soils there starting in the next week to 2 weeks, and we're very optimistic that we're going to hit a very similar type of system to them. So, and then we're also by Marathon, which is Northern Atlantic's largest gold deposit, and the original vendor that sold the Queensweight Newfound gold is also the vendor of our claims. So we've got some of the highest grade soils on the whole island. And, we've been in a quiet period the last, 6-7 months due to snow on the island. So we couldn't get crews mobilized. Most of the helicopter and, companies have been booked up till October. So, we recognize, fairly early, we better get in there, we better book our crews, and, we're looking forward to mobilizing any day.
So I also understand that you're looking at new joint venture opportunities as well. Anything that you can talk to us about right now?
We've had two, I have to be a little careful what I say here. We've had a number of, JV or offers to sell our ground. We're not quite ready there. We want to really get the properties to a drill ready stage. Review all the data, and once we get soils, those numbers back, we'll be able to kind of streamline what we want to keep and what we want to give up. But right now we're at about 150,000 hectares, which makes us one of the largest. Of paramount importance. If you look at any of the other companies, their property payments are so intense that they're not really able to to work at the speed that we do. Most of our money goes in directly into the ground, not into these payments. So that's the reason I've taken a lot on, and we've kind of gone against the grain here. We have a different philosophy, and it's paying off for us.
So, for investors who are watching right now, what's the most important message that you want them to take away from this, considering that we're talking about different geographical regions and different commodities? What's the most important thing that you want them to know and understand about Marvel Discoveries?
So, if you look at Marvel at a bird's eye view, you may say we've taken a lot on, and maybe focus is not there. I look at this in a very different light. The way the markets have been the last couple of years, there's been a lot of opportunity to acquire a lot of good projects, 10 cents on the dollar. So, obviously I took advantage of that and, acquired as much as we could in a short period of time. We're also a multi-commodity play. So with uranium, gold right now has been, highly manipulated. It's kind of bouncing back and forth, highly volatile. But if you look at the battery metals and you look at energy, those are the two, commodities right now, which are just, there's been no, a sign of slowdown. So by buying into Marvel, you have, your risk, mitigation is a lot. You have a much greater chance of success buying into the Marvel story than you just do with a traditional, one commodity play. We're a high trader. The share price has, the offers, the offers have kind of thinned out, and I think we're headed for we're headed for a pretty busy summer this year.
So you're going to have drills in the ground in a number of different projects. Hopefully you'll come back early September or maybe early October and give us update on results.
I wouldn't mind mentioning one thing which I left out is Marvel is really setting up more as a mine bank. We've completed our first spin out of a nickel asset in Elliott Lake, Ontario. It's one of the highest grade nickel targets in Canada. So again, we acquire assets, we package them up, and then the game plan is to spin them out, and we pay a share dividend out to the shareholders. So the first one's been done. We have another two in the plan here over the next 6 months to a year. We got New Marvel Gold and we have New Marvel Energy. And New Marvel Energy is going to be focused more on energy technology. I won't bore your readers or your viewers just yet, as that'll probably take another hour. However, I definitely do welcome definitely welcome the opportunity to talk about that in the near future.
So for investors, there's a lot on the go right now, but there's many other things unfolding. So lots to look at, really worth exploring and digging in deeper on Marvel discoveries. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Stuart.